Hey guys, this is Travis Leglider, Extension Weed Scientist at the University of Kentucky. Today we're looking at trial 20-23 at the UK Rec in Princeton, Kentucky. This trial is looking at Enlist soybeans and the Enlist soybean system, looking at all the options that are available in this soybean system. This particular trial was treated as a true no-till trial, so nothing was done before planting. All of these applications that went on at planting were true burn downs, burning down plants that were here, and all the winter annual pressure that was here. Speaking of timing, this trial was planted on June 8th. The burn downs or pre's were made on June 8th. The post-emergence application was made on July 6th. Today is July 28th. We are 22 days or 3 weeks after that post-application. So as we move forward here, let's look at the untreated check. Okay. So here's the untreated. You can see, I don't have to get very close for you to see all the Johnson grass that's in here. We also have lots of giant ragweed. There's also going to be a mare's tail or horseweed in there as well. Lots of summer annual grasses. You have giant foxtail, you have crabgrass. There's even a little bit of goosegrass throughout there as well. And there's some smooth pigweed mixed in there as well, and a few morning glories. So lots of weed pressure here. The giant ragweed is still sensitive to glyphosate on this farm. The mare's tail, on the other hand, or the horseweed, is not. It is resistant. To glyphosate. So glyphosate's not going to be effective against that. Okay, so that is your untreated check. As we move into these, remember your Enlist soybeans are going to be tolerant to glyphosate, glufosinate or Liberty, and 2,4-D. So that's the three things that they are resistant to. We're going to start off here. Pre-emergence or in your burn down, you had Enlist Duo. Enlist Duo offers you glyphosate and 2,4-D at that rate at 75 fluid ounces. You're getting a pound of each of those products. Sonic as a pre-emerge product going in there with it. With that Sonic, you're getting sulfentrazone or authority and chlorantranilium or first rate. So you're getting two sites of action on the ground there. If you're talking water hemp and palmer, only the sulfentrazone is going to be effective as a pre-emerge herbicide, but for all other weeds you're getting, or your overall weed spectrum, you're getting two sites of action there. And then coming back post with just Durango, so just glyphosate. We'll walk back in here a little bit. We did have a planter skip on the front of this plot here, unfortunately, but you walk back in here. Pretty clean plot from that burn down, did a pretty good job. If we look around, we can find a few mare's tail plants still surviving in here, and really needed another shot of 2,4-D on this. Really, after the burn down, this treatment was really treated as a Roundup Ready system, as only Durango went on it, and that's the only post application on there. But overall, all things considered, taking advantage of using that 2,4-D early and in the burn down and taking care of a lot of the mare's tail that was here at that time. Okay, so here we have a pre of Enlist Duo and Sonic, just like the last one, and the remainder of these you're going to see the same thing. So getting the glyphosate and 2,4-D on the field for the burn down, and then using the Sonic as a residual. Here we're coming back post with Enlist Duo. So again, Enlist Duo is glyphosate and 2,4-D. So taking advantage of the fact that we can use 2,4-D, and again, where the 2,4-D really comes in and helps out is it's controlling any glyphosate resistant weeds, such as mare's tail in this field, or in other fields it might be water hemp or palmer. And on this one, a really quite clean plot. We'll dig around in here. You can see the mare's tail carcasses in there. Those were some big mare's tail when they were sprayed, but they are taken down now. A really clean plot, not a lot in here for weed pressure, using a lot of sites of action there, using both a pre, which we encourage on all our soybeans using a pre, and then really taking advantage of the 2,4-D resistance in here, using Enlist Duo both pre and post on this one. Okay, next we have Enlist Duo and Sonic again as the pre or in the burn down, same rates. And here on our E-post, we're using Enlist 1 at 32 fluid ounces and Durango at 32 fluid ounces. Enlist 1 is just 2,4-D choline and no glyphosate. So with that rate, you're getting a pound of 2,4-D, and with that rate of Durango, you're getting a pound of glyphosate. So that's the same as the Enlist Duo in the last treatment, but here it's just tank mix. So just showing you some versatility in this system where you can use either Enlist Duo or you can use Enlist 1 in your choice of glyphosate. There's multiple glyphosate products that can be tank mixed with Enlist 1. And so you can, with that, it gives you a little flexibility in adjusting your glyphosate rate, which some guys like to do. You don't really get that option with the Enlist Duo. You just get a pound and a pound. So Sneak in here again, dig in through these soybean plants. Again, a really clean plot. You're not going to find a lot in there for escapes. Using both that 240 and glyphosate early with a residual, and coming back later and cleaning up. A really clean plot overall. Again, taking advantage of the 240 and the ability to spray 240 on the soybeans. Here we have Enlist Duo and Sonic again in your pre, and here we're using Liberty. Okay, just Liberty post-emergence, no glyphosate, no 2,4-D, and you can see it overall very clean plot. And this is the advantage of this Enlist system as compared to its closest competitor, is that you do have the option of Liberty if you are dealing with a glyphosate-resistant weed such as waterhemp, palmer, or mare's tail, and you're in a situation where you shouldn't be spraying a growth regulator. I don't care which growth regulator it is, 2,4-D. Tomatoes and grapes are extremely sensitive to 2,4-D, so if you have those right next to you, you probably shouldn't be spraying 2,4-D ever. And so with these soybeans, you have that opportunity to still control those glyphosate-resistant weeds with Liberty. So that's the advantage these soybeans have, is the ability to control those post-emergence with Liberty. Okay, that again, compared to the closest competitor soybean tolerance system, that's the advantage the Enlist system has, is that you have that option of Liberty in your post-emergence application, and we're showing that here with this one. If there's going to be one weakness of this system, you might find a few grass escapes in there. Within this particular plot, we didn't find any, but Liberty does have a weakness, and its weakness is grasses. So that's where maybe using a glyphosate or mixing in a glyphosate might be advantageous if you have a heavy grass population. Here we have that Enlist Duo and Sonic again pre-emergence. Coming back post, here we're using Liberty and Enlist 1. Okay, so 2,4-D and Liberty, really going after your glyphosate-resistant weeds on this one, whether it's mare's tail, waterhemp, or palmer, with both of those effective sites of action. Going after that again, that's the advantage of this system, is you have two effective sites of action against glyphosate-resistant weeds when it comes to post-emergence options. And just to reiterate, that's the advantage of the Enlist system right now. At this point in time, again with this one, if there was any escapes in these particular plots, we don't have a lot, but if there was, it would be the fact that we don't have any glyphosate, so you might have a few grass escapes, and these particular plots we don't. But again, Enlist isn't going to control grasses, and Liberty, it's going to control them, it's going to suppress them, but you will have some escapes on it every once in a while if you have a heavy grass pressure. We're just not seeing it in this particular field. Okay, here we're going kind of early. We're switching out the Enlist Duo when we're coming back. We're coming in with Liberty and Enlist 1. So two products there in this particular field where we're chasing mare's tail or glyphosate-resistant mare's tail. You're putting on two products in your burn down that are effective against that mare's tail and very effective against that mare's tail, and also using Sonic as our residual there, as we did with all the other treatments. And coming back with the Enlist Duo, again, that's your glyphosate and 2,4-D. So getting lots of sites of action, lots of different options, a complete program here. And I will say that as far as the burn down goes, in Kentucky, I realize some of you may not be in Kentucky that are watching this, but in Kentucky, we do encourage Liberty as a burn down. It works very, very well for us as a burn down. And this is an overall very, very clean plot here. Because of the fact that we have all these different sites of action. And again, we do like Liberty as a burn down against our mare's tail in Kentucky, but we're usually doing this when it's hot and it's humid. Even in May and even in late April, we can get the heat and humidity and sunshine to make Liberty work really, really well for us with Liberty, and throwing in the 2,4-D helps as well. So a really nice complete program there with lots of products going on the ground. Okay, and then final treatment here. Really relying heavily on Liberty here. Liberty Pre with that Enlist 1, again, that's the 2,4-D, as well as the Sonic, again, as your residual. All these use Sonic as a residual, and then coming back post with Liberty only, no glyphosate, no 2,4-D. Again, a very clean plot here. When it comes to mare's tail, waterhemp, palmer, this would look very good. This would look good against palmer and waterhemp as well, because we're using Liberty and 2,4-D. On this one though, if there's anything that we might miss, and you see a little bit of Johnson grass there that we missed, but that is an open canopy, it might be the grasses, okay? So here we can zoom in there and see a few little summer annual grasses peeking through there. And then again, if there's a weakness of Liberty, it's with the grasses. So if this could use anything, which it really doesn't need much, but if you could use anything on here, it's maybe some glyphosate probably mixed in with that post. But overall, with the grass pressure on this field, we didn't really need it. Overall, really good looking program here, relying pretty heavily on your Liberty, but also getting some 2,4-D in there as well. So just looking at several options here, just showing the versatility of the Enlist soybean system. Overall, all these treatments contained pretty much the same actives, the same products, Liberty, 2,4-D, glyphosate, and your Sonic, just doing it in different sequences or different rhythms. And we got pretty much the same result across. And again, showing the versatility of this Enlist system, Enlist soybean system. This is trial 20-23 at the UK Rec in Princeton, Kentucky.